Capcom, what the fuck? It is just a day after Capcom announced that Cody's going to be arriving a day early, which is great news for people who are looking out for Cody. I know there's plenty of people who are. And alongside Cody, they're rolling out a bunch of changes to basically add value, as they've been continuing to do, to the Street Fighter V experience. And this was actually kind of this flew pretty low under a lot of people's radars, including mine actually. I didn't notice it till over some articles that pointed it out to me. But Street Fighter V is getting loot boxes. So let me explain to you how this works. So let's go across the actual article here. Alright, so this is from shuriken.com, basically. It's going through the article, it's breaking things down. You get Cody a day early, which is great. Who doesn't love Cody? You get some changes to survival mode, that's fine. You get some battle goods, which are basically ways to... They're making survival mode basically more of a engaging, rewarding experience, which is good, because a lot of people use survival mode when it first came out, but I don't think too many people do these days, and you can even continue it instead of restarting. So there's some cool stuff there. You got battle goods, which is ways to supplement survival mode, which is fine. Yeah, whatever. Save your progress, great. Other improvements, whatever. This is the part here, introducing fighting chance. So let's go through this, and let's just break this down here. So, battle goods are potent items that can greatly increase the chances of completing survival mode, especially with the increased difficulty. This brings us to fighting chance, a new system where Manat will open up her shop to tell you your fortune. By spending 500 fight money, you can obtain a fantasy fortune reading, which Manat can help you decipher. These readings contain multiple items, including some exclusive to Fighting Chance. That goes on here to talk about the items that you get. So these are all randomized. Yeah, this is basically the loot box that we're looking at here. So you get battle goods for survival mode, fine. New colors obtainable in fantasy fortune readings, that's fine. If you want to get exclusive colors for your costumes, I don't got a problem with that. Rare costumes only available via the Fighting Fantasy fortune readings. Like Cammy's Cannon Spike, pictured below, is one of the rare costumes. We'll introduce more rare costumes as time goes on.
Wow. What do you think about that?
This is the part that really bothers me. This part right here, because if you've watched my channel before, and being a fantastic and talented person, I'm sure you have, I love me some costumes. I use mods all the time because there aren't enough costumes in the game for Jury. And so I jump at the chance to get any new costumes for Jury. And to have costumes walled off like this behind loot boxes is insane to me. It's insane. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know some of you are thinking. There are people already typing furiously in the comments below saying, but Red, it's only fight money. It's not real money. You don't have to you can't purchase fight money. So no harm, no foul. And you're definitely right to an extent. You're correct to an extent that this is not as damaging or poisonous as your Star Wars Battlefront variety of loot boxes, your Overwatch variety of loot boxes, any other real variety of loot box. The loot boxes can be done the right way and the wrong way. And the thing about this that bothers me is that I'm a grown-ass man, as you can see, and I don't really have the time to sit down and practice this game as much as I should, let alone to sit there and grind fight money, because if you know anything about Street Fighter V since Season 3, it's been very difficult since Arcade Edition to actually get fight money, because they removed a lot of the ways that you're able to typically farm it, like being able to go through everyone's story mode, things like that. Those things no longer create fight money if you've only been playing since arcade mode. The only way to get fight money really is to participate in the weekly challenges. And even those don't reward a lot of fight money, and in some cases you can actually lose fight money if you try to take on a challenge which is particularly difficult, like say the Shadowloo Soldier, and you lose a bunch of times, then you've lost your fight money there. And so, given how hard it actually is to get fight money, the grinding that you have to do, if it was easy to get fight money, I would not have as much of a problem with this. I would still have a problem because I don't like any randomized bullshit chance of getting a costume. Just let me buy the fucking costume. Let me spend the $3 or the $5, whatever it is, or even the fight money to buy the costume. But I can see the logic in what they're trying to do here. They're trying to add value to the Street Fighter V experience, but this is not the way to go about it. This is like putting costumes, things that people actually want. If people want to grind for colors, or for artwork or for anything else, that's totally fine. I understand that. But to put content which is exclusive to the loot boxes themselves, like costumes, which are really fucking cool. Let's be honest, they're coming out with some good costumes, like the Dante and the Nero costumes that are coming out. They look fucking great. That's the sort of shit that modders usually do. That's really good. So to be taking that kind of content and walling it off behind something which you not only have to grind to do, but to not actually get a guarantee of that, the fact that you can't buy it outright, that you have to just keep throwing money at your loot boxes over and over and over again, and then even if you get a costume, it may not even be the one that you wanted. It might be for Rashid. And who wants costumes for Rashid? Nobody, that's who. So, this is just... I posted this on Twitter, and I said that this is an example of... There has never been a better example of how tone deaf Capcom are to their own fucking audience. And it bothers me a lot, because I love Capcom games, I love Street Fighter, but Capcom cannot take 2 steps forward without shooting themselves in the foot. They just can't do it. For every really good decision Capcom make, they make one that's equally terrible. And I can provide examples to you throughout history of things that they've just done which are fantastic ideas. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, great idea. Gems, awful idea. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary, great idea. The entire online system, very bad idea. So on and so forth. You can just go on and on. It's ridiculous. And this is just another example of a really terrible fucking idea, which was probably done with good intentions, but is just awful regardless of that. And even if you want to look at it in the most benign sense, even if you want to say, look, you know, okay, yeah, so you don't get a few costumes, so what? The problem is that this is more of a global thing as well, because loot boxes have basically peaked in my eyes, and in a lot of people's eyes, because, you know, you can go to Jim Sterling's channel and watch a lot of his videos on loot boxes, but essentially what he says, and what I believe is true, is that companies got too greedy. They tried to just shove loot boxes into everything. People were buying them for a while because they are fun to open and you do get some neat stuff out of them. But they just shoved them into everything, and Battlefront 2 was the camel that broke the straw's back. I said that backwards. And I did it on purpose too. I thought it'd be funny. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, and everyone rebelled, and there was a blow up, and you know the story. I don't have to tell you what happened with Battlefront 2. And since then, it's reached the public, it's reached the zeitgeist, it's reached the public eye, to the point where the Netherlands just passed a ban on loot boxes because they consider them to be gambling. And even in this instance, for Street Fighter, where it definitely, I mean, it still is kind of gambling, but the fact is that you can't use real world money does make it a little bit better. But, you know, this is a terrible idea just in terms of just trying to get back goodwill for Street Fighter V, because we all know it launched, it had 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, whenever it was, it had a terrible launch. It was very bare bones, and that hurt the game a lot in terms of word of mouth. And ever since then, Capcom have been trying to buy back goodwill by, you know, releasing free story modes, releasing free updates like Street Fighter, you know, Arcade Edition, things like that. And those were very good ideas. But then they go and introduce something which is deeply fucking unpopular at the moment, which is loot boxes. So I can't understand the logic. I can't appreciate it. So that's really all I have to say, is that I'm just baffled once again. Once again, I am just left completely speechless by an idea which should be so obviously a bad idea. And Capcom have just gone, let's throw loot boxes in the game, see how that goes. So let me know what you think below. Let me know if you think that this is, maybe, am I overreacting? Am I taking this the wrong way? Am I not seeing that this is a good thing for the game overall? Or do you agree that loot boxes are a bad idea regardless of whether you're spending real world money on them or not? Because you're still spending time, which is arguably more valuable than real world money. When I was a kid, I meant to say this, like, when I was a kid, I had time to do this shit. I mean, and even then, when you wanted a costume for your character, you just went and completed arcade mode, and you'd unlock a new costume, and that was fine. That was a good way to do it. Why put it behind loot boxes? So that's all. That's it. Leave a comment below if you have any thoughts on this, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so already. I do post fighting game videos, mostly Street Fighter related, every day. And in the meantime, kisses, hugs, belly rubs, and we'll see all of you very soon.